हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम टू एस चैट टेक्निकल चैनल। आइए आज हम स्टार्ट करेंगे एक नया टॉपिक इफेक्टिव लाइफ मैनेजमेंट बुक से। उससे पहले हम आज शुरुआत करते हैं पॉजिटिव थॉट्स के साथ। कांटों पर चलने वाले अपनी मंजिल पर जल्दी पहुंचते हैं क्योंकि कांटे कदमों की रफ्तार बढ़ा देते हैं। आज का जो पहला टॉपिक है आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्शन। Freedom of action is the ability to choose the course of action in a given situation. This special privilege granted only to humans distinguishes them from lower beings. Animals are guided by only by blind instinct and are not capable of making a conscious choice born of discrimination. A small boy, when affectionately pulled by the ear, is able to recognize it as a loving gesture and responds accordingly, but a dog, when pulled by the ear, reacts angrily out of an instinct to protect itself. It is incapable of recognizing a gesture whose motive is only love and not enmity. Unfortunately, humans rarely use this free will for constructive purposes. They misuse it instead. Given a choice between going to the theater for a worthless cinema and reading an inspiring book and visiting an ashram, most young people prefer dissipating themselves in a theater. Similarly, when someone is unfair to us, instead of using the freedom of action to solve the problem, in a calm and composed manner, we lose our cool only to worsen the situation. It is only later that we repent. By then, the deed is done, and the effect of our karma has already marked us out. Thus, we need to use this privilege of free will judicially. We can use it to make or break our lives, just as we can use fire either to cook food or to maliciously set aflame a house. Man is accountable for all his deeds, however, he also has the freedom to act, not to act, or act in a different manner. His inner development depends on his choice to perform only choose volitional actions that move the personality through the formation of noble sanskar. Just as regular physical exercise is inevitable for physical development, so is the inner culture of making conscious decisions and remaining aware of our actions necessary for mental and spiritual development. A question may be asked here: if every individual has freedom of action, does this not contradict God's sovereignty? The law of karma lays the whole responsibility of a man's action on him only. Is there then no basis for the existence of God as a supreme ruler? If the law of karma can explain everything in life, where is the need to introduce a God? The answer is that individual freedom of action never interferes with God's supremacy. At the same time, it is also true that God's supremacy does not counter individual freedom. For example, no vegetation can grow without the sun, be it the sacred tulsi plant or the harmful poison ivy. All kinds of plants are allowed and equal opportunity to grow and blossom in the bountiful lap of Mother Earth under the same sun. Similarly, God enlivens all beings, individuals function according to their inherent potential. Only because of Him, none can work independently without Him. Yet each man has the freedom to use God's power in his own way. It is like the power of electricity that can be used either for destructive or for constructive purposes. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है आज का अंडरस्टैंडिंग पुरुषार्थ सेल्फ एफर्ट एंड प्रबद्धा कर्मा. Let us explore the aspect of prabdha karma's impact on our lives further. It is due to this that no two human bodies are exactly alike. Even identical twins have some differences. We are born dark, fair, tall or short due to prabdha karma. Although we have no freedom in choosing what type of body we have, who our parents will be, and so on. We must remember that we are basically the infinite spirit and that we have the potential to achieve all that we want. It is in human life and impacted overall life. Nature to struggle against all odds since nothing comes free in this world. It goes without saying that our karma is to make the best use of the opportunities that we have and cultivate a positive attitude to life and its problems. We are not presenting to a fatalistic view by saying that karma determines our life patterns. It is to lay emphasis on how we work, what work we do, and how concentrated we are about our own moral and spiritual development that the karma theory was explained. It is important to note that individual effort has the capacity to change things. When a student fails his exams, his concerned parents arrange extra tuition for him and make him toil hard. As a result, the student gains confidence and is able to pass with decent marks in his next attempt. He succeeded because he decided to struggle in the right direction. When traveling to a high altitude destination, we take adequate valence to protect ourselves from the chilling cold. It is unreasonable to take the stand that it is our karma to suffer because the decision to travel to a cold place was ours. Swami Vivekananda used to say that if we take care of the means, the end is assured. Nothing can stop it from occurring. This is logical too. One may be talented, but if the talents are not cultivated, sharpened, and groomed through practice, even the finest of talent will go waste. Therefore, we need regular practice through self effort to effectively manifest our talents. This is a part of managing ourselves. Effort or struggle to change one's life is known as Purushartha or self effort. The art of action requires us to develop an ability to discriminate between Purushartha and Pravadha Karma. The materialistic what judges one's position in society on the basis of his or her academic achievements, assets, positions, and wealth. Carried away by this, many young people are prone to weave all kind of fantasy about their futures without even realizing their inherent capabilities. They may develop deep dissatisfaction about the lack of facilities and opportunities in their lives. Such negative attitude does not help build life. It is essential that we have faith in our potential divinity and try to achieve the best in life. We must remember that material possessions do not make a man. How he sees himself, how uses his body and mind determines his life. Therefore, it is said God helps those who help themselves. It is possible to change the effects of our pravada through self effort and sincere prayer to God to help us in all our endeavors. It is good to dream of higher goals and aim to achieve them. If the target is high, our efforts will also be more. We shall then be able to achieve more than what we would by simply sitting and brooding about our karma. An ideal balancing of Purushartha and acceptance of our Prabodha rarely happens, resulting in a wide mismatch between what we dream of and what we actually achieve. Since most of us are unaware of our true abilities, we do not put in the required amount of effort required to achieve our goals. Most dreamers therefore continue to daydream, growing old and finding their youthful energies frittered away. They are unable to withstand the pressure of life's hard realize, shattering their make believe world. They fail to realize that success in any field comes only through hard work and God's grace. Without a strong faith in one's own divinity or in God, it is possible to avoid frustration when failure stares at us. We must learn to judge ourselves by the internal development that we have. achieved and drive satisfaction and fulfillment from it. Life is a combination of both the external man and the internal man, and deficiency in any one area will weaken the person, especially if the true internal self is neglected. The ability to use Purushartha properly has a special relevance for young men and women who are shaping their future careers. One should make all possible efforts diligently, sincerely, and repeatedly to secure admission to a good college or to find a good job. Suppose that does not happen, then effort must be made to get the next best college or job. The world is large and the opportunities are plenty. One failure does not mean the end of the world. Just as it may be our pravardha to be denied one position, it must be our pravardha to try and procure another. Karma is action and it does not accept a defeatist attitude. Everyone need not become a doctor or an engineer or a corporate executive. There is much more to life than these titles, and other avenues can also provide us with decent lives. Ultimately, it is how we value ourselves that is more important than what the world dictates. Sri Ramakrishna explains the rule of Purushartha beautifully through the example of a cow that has been tied to a post in an open field. The cow is not absolutely free. The rope limits the cow's movement, but it is free to eat the grass in the circle circumscribed by the length of the rope. Only after it has exercised this limited freedom and eaten all the grass within its reach will the owner move it to a different spot. If the cow is dexterous or very hungry, the owner intervenes and extends the rope or ties it at a better spot. Pravadha karma is like the rope that limits our freedom to manifest the potentiality within us. However, we must be active and use Purushartha to achieve whatever is within our grasp. Only after we have made full and proper use of the freedom that has been given to us through Purushartha can we expect our rope or destiny to be extended or changed. So, this parable implies that we can reshape our lives if we persevere and struggle. We cannot possibly know that what kind of pravadha karma we have unless we first try and use Purushartha to achieve our goals. We should be ready to accept favorable or unfavorable results as the fruit of our pravadha karma. Only when we have sincerely put in all possible efforts, this power to discriminate and accept the threat is essential to lead a balanced life and is at the core of learning the art of action. अब ये जो हमारा चैप्टर था 6 ओवरऑल, इसका इसमें कंक्लूजन दिया है. Conclusion is the theory of karma. Prabhaddha karma is in particular teaches us that tough past karma determines an individual's life and its conditions. How we use the given environment depends entirely on us. A man should not be judged by the suffering the undergoes, but by his capacity to rise above them. The effects of past karmas were responsible for the terrible suffering that the mighty Pandavas of the Mahabharata had to endure, but their virtuous, supreme moral strength and the grace of their divine friend Sri Krishna lifted them above all trials, enabling them to emerge victorious. Their ability to rise above all circumstances by reposing faith in their own strength, in values, and in God demonstrated their true character. Righteousness, the prescribed way of life, brings spiritual joy and peace as its result. A way of life that is not righteous leads to unhappiness both here and hereafter. Every individual is responsible for his prosperity or adversity, elevation or degradation, enjoyment or suffering, depending on how we use the freedom of action. we can either elevate or degrade our lives. Dependence on some unknown supernatural power will only weaken us. The law of karma lays the whole responsibility on human being and gives it the power to shape its future destiny. Although it is impossible to change pravada, it is possible to reduce its intensity by sincere prayer, says the Holy Mother. If we are to be hit by his sword by the grace of God, it may turn out to be a mere pink prick. Swami Vivekananda said every thought that we think, every deed that we do, after a certain time becomes fine, goes into seed form. So to speak, and lives in the fine body in a potential form, and after a time it emerges again and bears its results. These results condition the life of man, thus he molds his own life. Man is not bound by any other laws excepting those which he makes for himself. Each one of us is the maker of his own fate. This law knocks on the head at once all doctrines of predestination and fate we and none else are responsible for what we suffer. We are the facts and we are the causes. We are free, therefore, if I am unhappy, it has been of my own making, and that very thing shows that I can be happy if I will. If I am impure, that is also of my own making, and that very thing shows that I can be pure if I will. The human will stands beyond all circumstances. Summarizing the art of action, let us therefore decide to lead our lives in such a manner that every action of our adds to our store of good karma. A time will come when we shall be unable to do anything but good and rise beyond desiring results for our actions. We will be working as masters with no good or bad karmas to wind us back to this world. Karma is the cause for our work, and if we have to go beyond this cycle and attain everlasting joy, then we have to get rid of the golden chain of good deeds too. When we have mastered this technique, then karma becomes karma yoga, skill in action. तो फ्रेंड्स, आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक था वो कंप्लीट हुआ. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक हमारा होगा प्रैक्टिस के ऊपर. व्हाट इज़ द पावर ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. देन आपने ये वीडियो वॉच किया उसके लिए थैंक यू सो मच. हैव ए नाइस डे.